Hello and welcome. During this video, we are going to walk through setting up SMS form request templates that are used when sending mobile form requests to clients via a text message. I want to quickly point out that this video assumes that you are already signed up with an SMS text provider such as ReminderCall.com. If you are not signed up with an SMS provider, you can find all the instructions about how to add a ReminderCall.com SMS text account by clicking on the Help tab and then viewing the Manage SMS Text Account documentation under the Administration section. You can also view the Manage SMS Text Accounts video in the Video Training Center, also under the Help tab. Okay, so if you've watched the last several videos in the Mobile Intake series, you learned that after you create your form request, there are 3 ways the client can receive and complete the form request. 1, they can be completed prior to their visit by sending a secure link to the forms via an SMS text message. 2, they can be completed at your office on your client's own device by scanning a QR code. Or 3, they can be completed at your office using a center-furnished tablet. In order to be able to send the forms via SMS text, you first need to set up your SMS template, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. An SMS template is simply the text message the client receives on their phone with a link to the mobile intake application. So let's go ahead and go to Centerpiece and walk through setting up the SMS template so you can begin sending form requests via text. There are 2 ways you can set up a new SMS template for mobile forms. 1, you can add a new template from the mobile intake inbox, or 2, you can add a new template from within the actual form request dialog within the scheduler. Okay, so notice that I'm currently in the mobile intake inbox. In order to create an SMS template from here, I would first need to open the task pane by clicking here, and next I would click on the Edit SMS Templates button right here. The SMS Templates dialog opens. The first tab here displays the SMS text templates for appointment reminders. For our purposes, we need to click on the second tab here, the Form Request Templates tab. In order to add a new template, I just need to click on Add New Item and then walk through the process of adding a new template. Now, instead of walking through that process here in the mobile intake inbox, I'm going to go back to the scheduler and show you how to add the template right from within the form request dialog. Doing it this way is a better workflow because you can create your template and send it right from the scheduler without having to go back and forth. Okay, so for this example, let's say that I want to send this client the mobile forms via SMS text so she can receive and complete them prior to her arrival at the center. I've already created the form request and you can see the status is queued. A status of queued means that I've created but I have not sent the form request. You usually queue form requests for walk-in appointments or if the client will complete the forms on a center-furnished device in kiosk mode once they arrive for their appointment. I'll click on the status link to edit the queued form request and notice that we have a few mobile forms already selected as well as some read and sign consent forms. Also notice these tabs here. I'll click on the Send Forms tab and notice the first thing I need to do in order to send the forms via SMS text is to select a template. I'll click the drop-down and you can see that I don't have any templates, so we'll need to create one. In order to do that, I'll simply click here on the ellipsis button and the new SMS template dialog opens. Again, I'll want to click on the second tab, the Form Request Templates, and then I'll click Add New Item. Okay, so the first thing that you'll want to do is enter in a custom name for your form request. I'm just going to type in Default Form Request, but you can choose whatever name you want. Next, notice that I have the template body with some suggested merge fields. These fields work much like Microsoft Mail Merge and will merge in values for the specific appointment and form request wherever the merged fields are placed in the template. For example, notice that I have the center name, the appointment date and time, and the access code, which will allow the client access to the mobile application to begin filling out their mobile forms. Also notice that if I scroll down a bit, I have a list of the available merged fields for this template and an explanation of each one. So that's why we have two different tabs here. The merged fields for the form request template are different from the appointment reminders template. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up and let's go ahead and format our template. I'll type right here, you have an appointment with, then I'm going to go ahead and leave the center name merged field. Then I'll delete the word appointment and type on, and I'll leave the date merge field, and I'll type in at and leave the time merge field, and I'll end with a period. I'm going to go ahead and leave this allow my client to opt out if they want, and I'll move this up and just add a colon here, and that's it. Now, please note that you want to be very careful to make sure that your templates aren't too long because SMS text messages are limited to 160 characters. If your template is too long, Centerpiece will not send the text and you'll get an error notification next to the form request. We'll walk through an example of what this error looks like and how to fix it a little bit later in the video. Okay, so with that finished, I'll click Insert and you can see the new template right here. I'll click Close. And then I'm going to click on the drop down and you can see the new template we just created right here in the drop down. Okay, so before you start using your newly created templates, we always recommend that you test your templates by sending it to yourself before you begin sending it out to clients. So let's walk through how to do that now. I'm going to click back on the General tab and notice the client's phone number right here. In order to test the template, I'm going to temporarily remove the client's phone number and enter in my phone number. Now I'm going to be sure to write down her phone number before I enter in mine because I don't want to lose the information by overriding her number with mine. And just a quick note, changes made to the mobile number are saved to the client's file. So that's why we'll want to make sure to change this number back after we're done testing. Okay, so after writing her phone number down, I'm going to enter in my phone number and then click Save. Next, I'll click on the Send Forms tab once again, and I'll select the new template we just created from the drop-down list and click Send Form Request. I'll confirm the send, and once it's sent, notice the message right here. I'll close out of this and you can see the scheduler now says Sent. You'll want to be sure and check the status right here to make sure that you don't have any error messages come through. Okay, so now that it's been sent, I'm going to go ahead and share out my phone to the screen and you can see the text message with the link to the mobile intake application right here. Notice that our center name was inserted right here along with the date and time of the appointment. Also notice the access code merged field was replaced with this link right here. And if I click on the link, the mobile intake application opens and the client would be able to verify their identity and begin completing the mobile forms. Okay, so let's go back to Centerpiece and I want to talk a little bit more about troubleshooting potential issues with your templates. One of the things that you'll be testing for is to make sure that your text messages don't exceed 160 characters. If it does go over that limit, you'll receive an error message that is displayed right here and the text message won't be sent out. This can happen because your actual template is too long, or if you have a long center name that gets merged in, sometimes the long center name will push out the text message length and make it exceed that 160 character limit. If that happens, you'll need to edit your template to make it shorter or shorten your center name in the administration section of Centerpiece and then retest the template. So let's actually walk through an example of that so you can see what the error message looks like. I'm going to open this second queued form request right here. Then I'll click on Send Forms, and instead of selecting this template, I'm going to click on the ellipsis to add a new template. I'll again click on the Form Request Templates tab, and then I'll click Add New Item. For this name, let's call it Too Long Template. And then for the text, I'm going to enter in, Hello, we wanted to remind you that you have an appointment with, then I'll leave the center name merge field. I'll delete the word appointment and then type on, leave the date, and then I'll type at and leave the time and end with a period. We'll leave the opt-out message here and we'll leave this here and just add a colon. Next I'll click Insert and you can see my too long template right here. I'll click Close and then I'll click the drop down and you can see the template right here in the drop down. Okay, now I'm going to test this so you can see what the error message looks like. So again, I'm going to click on the General tab. I'll again make sure to write down the client's phone number. Then I'm going to go ahead and type my phone number right here, and I'll click Save. Next, I'm going to click on the Send Forms tab, and I'll select the too long template that we just created from the drop-down list and click Send Form Request. I'll confirm the send, and now once it's sent, notice this message right here, but in order to see the error message, I need to close the form request dialog and look at the status message. Notice the error is displayed right here. And if I click on the mobile intake inbox, you can also see the error right here. Now let's go back to the scheduler and click on the status to see more details. I'll click on the Send Forms tab and notice this error message that says SMS message is too long. It must be 160 characters or less. Please shorten the template and try again. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll once again click on the ellipsis button, and then I'll click on the Form Request Template tab, and I'll click to edit our too long template. I'll delete the beginning message that we added and just have it say you have an appointment with, and then we'll leave the rest the same. And with it shortened, we'll go ahead and click Update and Close. So with that template still selected, I'll click Send Form Request, and then I'll confirm the send. Now again, I'm going to want to close the dialog to see the message, and now you can see that the error is removed and the new status now says sent. I'll click on the status to see more details and then click right here, and notice that the date and time that was sent is now displayed, and the error message says no, showing us that this was successfully sent. Again, this is what the message looks like on my phone. Okay, so that's why we always encourage you to test your templates before you begin using them with clients. And don't forget to go back and reinsert the client's phone numbers into those form requests if you overwrote them with your own phone numbers for testing purposes. Okay, if you have any other questions, please click on the Help tab and then on the Setting Up SMS Form Request Templates under the Advanced Topics section of the mobile intake documentation. And as always, please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks so much for your time.